proposal put on the table by Mesmart, but unfortunately there's no agreement that has been reached here. Parties seemingly still not finding each other. But another breaking story this evening is FIFA dismissing South Africa's protest, calling for the replay of their World Cup qualifier against Ghana. Now Jobe is here to talk to us about this. Jobe, this deals a blow.
It's a huge blow.
To South Africa.
Look, we're going to have a conversation right now with one of the reporters, in fact, from Daily Sun, who broke the story. Kgomotso Mokoena is going to speak to us and try and get us the background story to this. But what is important here is the question of fairness, one would say. When Senegal asked for a replay for a match against us, they got it. But the question is, when SAFA went into this, did they follow the right processes? And what did FIFA say to say, no, your application has been dismissed? So there's plenty to be asked as far as SAFA is concerned and the information around this. In fact, let's take our viewers there right now. As Mrs. Mangetha has just said, the South African Football Association says they will consider its options. This after the world governing body FIFA dismissed its protest following Bafana Bafana's controversial 1-0 loss to the Black Stars of Ghana last month. Now, SAFA CEO Advocate Tebogo Monthlante said once SAFA gets reasons for the outcome, well, they will sit down and weigh their options. We have received the decision without details, and we will request FIFA for the reasons and consider our options. Joining us now, Sunday World journalist Kgomotso Mokoena to talk about the matter. Kgomotso, welcome to SABC News Channel. Welcome to The Full View. You broke the story. We saw the information come in. We were not sure. Even SAFA had not put it out. Just give us some background to it. How did you come about this news? And as Mrs. Mangetha said, it's a shocker.
Good afternoon, Tabiso, and your viewers at home. Yeah, man, it's been an eventful 2 weeks for South African football and Bafana Bafana especially. Yeah, man, we've been sending emails and sending inquiries to FIFA as to what's the delay all about. We were under the impression that they were supposed to give us an outcome on the 23rd of November, but it's been almost 2 weeks later. So we've been sending emails and emails, and this afternoon, they finally responded with an email to us, giving us their outcome, which is very disappointing for South African football and for Bafana Bafana, the young players who gave it their all and put up a brave fight in Ghana. So it's very disappointing, but yes, it's the outcome. That's the way things are at the moment.
Well, we heard SAFA say they're going to weigh up their options. We heard SAFA say they received a one-liner from FIFA. What does that tell us about where FIFA stands with this? I mean, if they didn't even extrapolate their reasons, should we even go further?
It was quite a bizarre statement and information that they sent out. It's just not even a paragraph, a one-sentence thing saying that, the matter has been dismissed, and there's no detail. And I think that's what is frustrating SAFA, and it will have made a lot of South Africans angry. At least let them explain and give us more detail as to how they arrived at this decision. That's why SAFA are saying they're demanding more information so that they can prepare their case. They want to take this forward. They're not taking this one lying down, because they surely believe that the boys were hard done by in Ghana. I was there to cover the match in Ghana, in the Ghana's Cape Coast. What happened, what transpired in that match was so unfortunate, and I also believe that there was something untoward, especially the referee's decision and how we handled the match.
In fact, we've got some of those pictures here in studio as we speak about it. We've just seen that penalty, well, the penalty that wasn't a penalty, as far as, you can sit and go through it 24,000 times. There was no contact with the player. It looked dubious. The player, it was probably the worst dive I've ever seen in football. You're speaking about being there. The reality of a CAF president who is South African, there was a lot of pressure on Patrice Motsepe, and a lot of questions that we asked as South African media is whether he's going to, try and interfere. And obviously he hasn't, if this decision has gone against South Africa.
Yeah, well, it puts the president, who is South African, in a catch-22 situation. Does he get involved in referees' decisions? We all know the adage that the referee's decision is final. Him getting involved, we would have sent wrong messages, especially in the African continent. This is a FIFA tournament and not a CAF tournament. So him being president of CAF, I'm thinking it was a clever decision not to get involved at all, because there's a lot of wrong sentiment going through the continent that yes, South Africa are doing this because they have their president, their South African, who is the CAF president, getting involved, and now the decision might be changed. But all in all, with the President Motsepe being involved or not, SAFA had a strong case here because of the performance of the referee. And if you consider that case started of 2017, where the match against Senegal was replayed, and Senegal, came back and played and won and booked their place to the 2018 World Cup in Russia. So they had a case without the president, and him staying out of this, I think it was a clever move.
In fact, I was just about to go there because the precedents had been set already. It wasn't a case of, this will be something new, this will be interesting to see how FIFA handles it. We know it's been done. So the question on whether FIFA will go back on a decision, a referee's decision, Ghana having won it, was expected. And like you're saying, you were there, you saw the match. We know that in SAFA's appeal or protest, there's a couple of things that Ace Ngobo, who was part of the FIFA's referees panel, pointed out in aid of SAFA. I think he pointed more than 24 incidents where there were either wrong decisions or dubious decisions made by the referee. So why? It's still mind-boggling how they lost this appeal. That's
what is really, really frustrating everyone, because we were expecting a more detailed response from FIFA and an explanation on how they really arrived at that decision and how that Senegal case study was not taken into consideration. I think they need to explain, number one, go back to their books on how they got to the decision that the referee from Ghana in 2017, Joseph Lamti, was involved in match manipulation and his decision were bogus and dodgy. And as a result, they decided that the match must be replayed. And in this instance, they have not explained why the same precedence has not been followed and why such decisions, why they arrived at these decisions, and not explained to South Africans at large how they decided not to have this match replayed, or even awarding, or even banning or suspending the referee from Senegal, Marquette and DIA.
We've run out of time. We've literally got about 30 seconds left. We have seen that CAF has not rostered this particular ref for this game in any, CAF Champions League matches that happened in the past week or so. So that could have been in hindsight to say, let's secure ourselves, let's be safe, one. Secondly, South Africa, we always come short, don't we, when it comes to these tournaments? We're always either hoping somebody does us a favor and win an away goal. One could have said we didn't score many goals throughout the qualifiers. Yes, the boys did well, a young team, but it was also in our hands.
Yeah, man, we threw it all away in the last moments of these qualifiers. The boys had a fantastic qualifying campaign. They started very well. It was in our hands. And I think we need to take the blame as well as a country and the technical team as well. They didn't read the permutations. They were not sure of what's going to happen, especially in the match against Zimbabwe. We needed to wallop Zimbabwe by a couple more goals, and then we would have not been in this situation. Going to Ghana, then they would have required more goals. But the guys only knew after the Zimbabwe match on our way to Ghana.
Yeah.
And then that, Ghana needed one goal away. And that's like going to a very difficult situation. It's a mountain to climb. And then we need to take the blame. And the team is looking very young, is looking fantastic. They've brought back that vibe into the team. Hopefully they can start, go back to the drawing board and then qualify for big tournaments in the future and going forward.
Kgomotso Mokoena, senior reporter, Sunday World. Thank you indeed for joining us, sir, on the breaking news story we've been reporting on, that you broke and we've been reporting on here at the SABC News Channel. Of course, FIFA dismissing SAFA, that's of course South African Football Association's protest in that Ghana match and the World Cup qualifier, which means, as it stands, South Africa will not be going to the World Cup.